Hello and welcome to Tap That MTG, the show where we tell you everything we know about Magic the Gathering that's probably wrong, but fun to talk about. I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shauna.
And today we are bringing you another companion 2020 guide, how-to guide. I guess
new cards, new rules.
Yeah, new cards, new rules. We're showing you a little bit about companions, what are they, and highlighting some of the specific companions and how to use them. So, Shauna, what the heck is a companion? And has that changed since
Yes,
the cards came out?
Has.
So if I read what's on the card,
That's
is it
not
gonna
right.
No. So what's changed?
So as of June 1st, 2020, so companions, at one point, it says on the card that you can have them in the little companion zone, and your deck has to match these companion stipulations that are on that card, and then you can play that card at any time. So people were kind of complaining that this is an 8th card that you pretty much always have in your hand, ready to go and play at any time. So, as of June 1st, 2020, that rule has been changed, that now that card has always been in your sideboard, but you can't access it until you pay 3 generic mana, and then you can put it in your hand, and then you can play it. So it's got a bit of a tax on it, basically, now. Mm-hmm. That's actually a really good way of putting it. It's a tax on it. You can't play it without paying that tax. Mm-hmm. So that's been the change as of June 1st. So if you look at our previous videos, we'll have the old companion rules on there, so just take that into account when you're doing that. And so then you have to the companions have a specific rule on them, so your deck has to follow those rules. So the companion we're looking at today, I'm going to go into that right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go into that right now. Yorion, Sky Commander. I love to hate him. So this is a 3 and 2 hybrid Azorius, so white and blue mana for a huge 4/5 flyer. But the companion stipulation on this card is you have to have 80 cards in your starting deck, which seems insane because we've talked about this in our videos before, that you want to have 60 card decks so that you have that consistency, right? So with Yorion in there, you have 80 cards, so you'd think that wouldn't be consistent. But I'll tell you, when you're playing against this guy, they always have turn 3 Teferi. But when I play it, I don't have turn 3 Teferi.
I almost always have a Teferi in my hand.
I actually do quite often as well. So
it's weird.
It's weird.
Maybe it's
weird.
an arena thing.
Maybe it is. I
wonder.
haven't played this in real life with real cards. So, so this is a crazy, huge flyer that when it comes in, you can exile any number of permanents you have on the battlefield and flash them back in at the end of your turn. So this is a way to bring back all your enchantments, bring back creatures that do things, planeswalkers, whatever.
So now, can you do that multiple times, or?
No, it's only when this enters the battlefield.
Okay, so that's something to remember is you don't want to bring them in if you have nothing that you want to bounce. Yeah. Which is what they call it.
Yes.
Bouncing. Basically, and it's important to remember too timing, because if you wanted to attack with something and then you bring Yorion in on your first main phase, you miss your attack step because they go away until the end of the turn. Yep. So think about timing. So what did you do when you built this for land?
I have a lot of land. There's like 35 land in my deck. 35.
Yeah, I kind of took it
35 and 40.
Kind
actually.
of like a commander level land. Yeah. So I have 32 because I figured, well, if you have 32 to 34 and 100 card deck, then scry lands for sure. Yeah, if you can use it. Yeah. So colors wise with this deck, I went with the traditional blue-white. There's lots of ways to build this. You could go mono white and just go enchantments. You could go mono blue and just go control-y. Maybe take advantage of some of those flyers. But because there's enter the battlefield things that happen, you definitely want to look for cards that have either enter the battlefield effects or that control the situation until you have the opportunity to do whatever your win condition is. So I believe that we both have similar kind of strategy when building decks as far as this one goes, and a lot of people out there are using these cards. So what you'll see, and should probably put in yours, are things to control the situation. So Teferi will allow you to bounce one of their cards.
Or your own. You can bounce Yorion back to your hand.
Exactly. Once you have it out, Teferi allows you to bounce it back to your hand and take advantage of the enter the battlefield again. Narset stops them from drawing cards, allows you to look at what cards you have coming. So those are kind of the two planeswalkers. I guess there's 3 planeswalkers that are important, and then there's Elspeth Conquers Death, which gives you some little 1/1s to either block with, or if you do, like, it's time that you're going to start swinging in with your little 1/1s that you've created. Oh, sorry. I'm talking about the other Elspeth. I'm talking about the other Elspeth.
I forget the full name.
Anyway, the one that gives you a little 2/1/1s, and then you can use her +1 ability to get +2 +1. She's on the screen. Just look at the screen. Don't listen to me. Look at the screen.
But Elspeth Conquers Death is in there too.
Yes, exactly. So those are the 3 planeswalkers that I would recommend that you put in there. What else do you have in yours?
Lots of counter spells, definitely to control the situation, because you need to be able to get to your win conditions in this deck. That's what control is. It's controlling the board until you get to your win conditions. Hopefully you've got more than one. So so the things like Neutralize, Dovin's Veto, Essence Scatter, Mystical Dispute, those kinds of things. Ether Gust, depending on what you're playing with, that kind of stuff. Negate. There could be some changes that you make in your sideboard and stuff too, again, depending on matchups and stuff.
The nice thing about 80 cards is you do have room to put multiples of all of these, and so sometimes just kind of tweak it and play with it as you go, because sometimes I find it's like, man, I just keep getting control stuff, and I don't get any of my creatures that are my win conditions to actually do something. And I don't want to win by someone quitting. That's no fun. So, I mean, I know some of you out there would like to win just like because everyone quits. But my goal is that everyone has fun, and then you come away. So I'm not a griefer. I don't want to just like make them feel bad about themselves and quit. So anyway, so I have some other win conditions.
She likes to make me feel bad.
Sometimes. Stop playing things that beat me all the time.
All right.
Yeah. So then, what else do we have in there to control things? Well, Shatter the Sky is important. So if they do decide to go wide, you need Shatter the Sky in there. I definitely think that's a must-have card in this deck. And then I know Brazen Borrower is one that we talked about. And then you use a king.
Oh, yes. Yes, I use a king called Kenrith, the Returned King. I really like that card. I just recently have been playing with it, and it's really fun, and he's got lots of options on there. With this deck, I can't use very many of those options, obviously, but definitely being able to put him out there and do stuff and just cause problems is really good. So I have this deck that has some red in it too. They have different versions of it. So this is kind of nice. You can play those 3 colors. With a Yorion deck, you can play 3 colors fairly easily because you have so much mana. So you can do a lot of that kind of stuff. Maybe even a green, maybe even red. 4 colors, 5 colors.
Yeah.
You can have some fun with it. So.
So there's also lots of sagas in this deck. Well, not a lot of sagas, but that's another strategy that you could do. You could, like, I really want to know what you guys are building and how you're kind of putting things together. But, I mean, I kind of see, like, put a bunch of sagas in, turn 1, turn 2, and then just before they go away, you just bring them back, put Teferi out there, bounce Yorion back to your hand, and just keep bringing out your sagas and getting those, like,
That's another card that you do the bouncing thing with, Leslie.
I don't know.
He's not a king. He's a...
Oh, yes, the Charm Prince, definitely. Charming Prince gets you either a scry. He has lots of options, scry, or you gain 3 life, or I never gain the life. I just use the scry usually. What do you usually use?
Well, bouncing is nice when I have him. He's nice to bounce. Yorion, you can bounce Yorion with him.
Okay, yeah, because he bounces himself.
And then you bounce more stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You just cause problems, cause havoc. It's fun.
Yeah, it's all about
Control.
things entering and exiting the battlefield. Of course, Thassa does that as well.
I like control. This is kind of scary.
She's always liked control. Don't let her fool you. She complains, but I think she's slowly falling in love with Teferi.
No, I'm not falling in love with Teferi. No, I'm not making this up.
But Thassa bounces things back and forth as well, so
Yeah.
that would be, but
It's another blue.
it's only bounces creatures.
Mhm.
So that is important to remember if you don't have a lot of creatures in your deck, or you don't want to exile like a token and bring back, because the
not
tokens
gonna
will come
help you.
back. So in this deck, really all we have is Brazen Borrower and Kenrith and Charming Prince. Depending on which, in mine I only have Charming Prince. I don't have Brazen Borrower or Kenrith. So I don't have Thassa in my deck because I don't have enough creatures to bounce. So just kind of like think about what your card interactions might be when you're building. And then win conditions. What do you use as your major win condition?
Well, Kenrith is a win condition for
Yeah.
me. And I've actually played around with Cavalier of Gales. It's been good too. But Leslie, I think you should tell us. I think you should tell us what the really fun win condition is.
Why? We both use it. So funny.
It's shark. It's a shark attack.
Shark Typhoon. So to Shark Typhoon, I guess you'll see that everywhere.
Yep.
So my strategy with this deck is just play a bunch of control-y stuff, wipe their board, counter all their spells, so like just super control them, and then you put your Shark Typhoon out and then continue to control them and get a bunch of sharks.
Creatures.
But Shatter the Sky doesn't work after that, so use those up before you get your sharks and kill them. It'll work, but you don't want to kill all your sharks. You put all that work into it. So yeah, I guess figure out your timing or whatever. We've also seen, I don't think either of us play with it, but Dream Trawler is another thing that people are playing in this deck. So
Yeah, and there were versions with Fires of Invention with this deck. Fires of Invention makes your spells free, but as of June 1st, it has been banned, so that is not in there as an option anymore. So you're going to have to get creative.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear what you guys are doing for creating. Used to be able to use Fires of Invention, Agents of Treachery, but that shenanigans and ridiculousness is gone. So now we have to get creative, and I love it. So that is pretty much it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. You can definitely also listen to us. We are available everywhere you can get podcasts. You can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. We want to hear what you have to say, so please check us out and follow us there. Join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. And I guess that's it for this time. So in the meantime, tap those magic cards and have fun doing it. Bye, guys.